So, James Gunn has put himself in the firing line. Do you see what I did there? His surname is Gunn. He's now in the firing line because of information that came out last night. The hashtag Fire James Gunn, hashtag Boycott Warner Bros. Come on, lads, it's called Warner Bros. Discovery. And Peacemaker is trending. I wonder why. Also, Crisis Core Reunion, such a good game. So, yo, what is good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around, and make sure to subscribe to never miss in the Marvel, DC, pop culture based content that we do on the channel. We try to cover much more content going forward, like we have been in the last few weeks. If you could check us out on Instagram, I wish you to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And if you could check us out on Twitter, Warstu G, as I've already spoke about this subject over there. So I'm going to try and be as unbiased as I can because I can see it from both sides of the spectrum, to be honest. It just looks like a massive cop-out and the easiest thing to do ever. Kevin Feige. James Gunn's been working under him for 10 years. Oh, Lord Feige, what did you tell Gunn? Do not your audience. What have you done? The audience. So let's break it down. This could be a long ass video. So Peter and I have a DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. We'll be sharing some exciting information about our first project at the beginning of the new year. Okay, people were on board, but they spoke too soon. Among those on this slate, in the initial stages, our story will be focusing on an early part of Superman's life. So the character will not be played by Henry Cavill. Okay, so he's literally just confirmed in this line, we are hard rebooting everything. There is no point you going to watch The Flash, Aquaman 2, Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, or Blue Beetle because nothing actually happens. The post-credit scene in Black Adam, where Black Adam and Henry Cavill Superman, and Superman comes down and goes, yo, Rock, I think we need to talk. It means absolutely nothing. And then the next tweet, but we've just had a great meeting with Henry, and we're big fans, but you literally just fired him, okay? And we talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future. No, you didn't. You really didn't. And to be fair, I was just on Twitter as I'm recording this, and heavy spoilers, Paul just tweeted this. He puts it perfectly. Unfortunately, your application has been unsuccessful at this time. However, we will keep your CV on file. And if any future jobs come up, we will reconsider you for them. Basically saying, we like you, but we don't want to work with you. Yeah, there's no chance Henry Cavill Superman is coming back, or there's no chance Henry Cavill is taking up any other role. He's already kind of done the evil Superman role. So yes, the SnyderVerse is 1000% dead. The DCEU is dead. We already know based on all the most recent test screenings for The Flash, the ending sticks. So people are only going to go watch the Flash movie for, spoiler warning, Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. So the internet has gone down into meltdown over this, to be honest. And I really don't get James Gunn's thinking here. Right, before we break that down. Met with Ben yesterday, precisely because he wants to direct, and we want him to direct. We just have to find the right project. Could Ben Affleck direct? No one cares about Ben Affleck directed. Henry Cavill Superman, Ben Affleck Batman are the most popular characters from the DC franchise that have been built up over the last 10 years. Do you really think someone's going to go watch a Ben Affleck movie because he's directing it? No. There's only certain people that have that Hollywood power, and it's not a Ben Affleck direct movie in the DC realm. What is going on here? So you want to do a young Superman focusing on Lois and Clark Kent meeting and him doing journalism and him taking a bunch of pictures. Oh wait, that's been done so many different times before. Why? You could have just done the Flash movie, rebooted the universe, used the same characters and the same actors without having to recast literally everyone. I feel like you've already destroyed your new universe you're trying to build before you've even got running. Like Feige told you, don't annoy your audience. We needed something different. Henry Cavill's already spoken about what he wanted to do going forward. So Henry Cavill puts up a Instagram post. I've just had a meeting with James Gunn and Pete Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all this, not be returning as Superman after being told by the studio to announce my return back in October prior to their hire. The news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortune. For those who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stood for still exists, and the example he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all, onwards and upward. Literally, the dude is perfect for Superman. He actually knows comic books. He actually is a fan of the character, and you want to replace him with a young Superman for literally no reason. Well, I hope Henry Cavill gets snapped up by Marvel. Make him Hyperion, Century, and actually use him Captain Britain, but just making Marvel Superman to stick it to DC for doing this, because it literally makes no sense. And the story gets even worse. This story gets even worse. You know that old rumor about the Black Superman? It's reoccurred. Coates and JJ's Black Superman film is still in active development, with Coates currently writing the script. Nobody cares for this. All we needed was a Henry Cavill Superman playing Clark Kent. We don't need this. We really don't need this. So, interested. This has been in the works for such a long time. Warner's also developing a Black Superman movie written by Coates and produced by JJ. Gunn's new movie is said to not have an impact on the project, with Coates still working the script. Cares. Literally no one cares for this. And before you come out and say, yo, Warstu's a racist, no, this is not about color, but nobody cares for this. Nobody cares. We only need one Superman, Clark Kent, played by Henry Cavill. Nobody cares for anything coming forward. And yeah, I'm trying to be unbiased, but I'm telling you what my audience has told me already. I've had so many DMs about this already. Nobody cares. Okay? Nobody cares. And just as I thought, Patty Jenkins did not walk away from the role directing Wonder Woman 3. She was basically fired. Now, it is a bit strange how it took her 5 to 6 days to respond, but yeah, basically it's not true. She basically got fired from the role pretty much. When there started being backlash about Wonder Woman 3 not happening, the attractive clickbait false stories, that was it that killed it. Or walked away started to spread. This is simply not true. I never walked away. I was open to considering anything they asked of me. It was my understanding there was nothing I could do moving forward at this time. DC is obviously buried in changes and they're having to make. So I understand these decisions are difficult right now. That's pretty much what she said. She didn't walk away from the project. Whatever script she handed in didn't align with the new future of DC. Well, of course it wouldn't, because they're going to recast Gal Gadot. They're going to recast everyone, so why would it? James Gunn responds, I can attest that all of Peter and my interactions with you were only pleasant and professional. Yo, where the frickin' hell's Pete Safran? Get him involved. Come on. Why is it only James Gunn? It's like James Gunn is speaking for two people. No, let's get Pete Safran involved in the equation. Where is he? Why is it always James Gunn talking for everyone else? Yo, we get it, but you plan James. You really do. You, Stu, you used to hate it. No, I'm not. We don't need a young Superman. So we're getting a 10-year plan. You want a new DC audience, but you're going to have some of the same DC audience, and you've literally just annoyed them because you wanted a young Superman. Now, factually, I was not incorrect when I said Superman would be the forefront of the new company, the new DC Studios company, because obviously it's a new form company, branch, obviously underneath Warner Bros. Discovery. Superman is forefront. But I always did say, which Superman would it be? And I always question, is Henry Cavill back? And I also question, did he actually sign a contract? And it turns out he didn't. He was told he was back. He was told by the studio, allegedly, to confirm he was back. Hell, he even did an hour interview podcast live, and he spoke about being Superman again. And you've literally made Henry Cavill look like an idiot. I mean, I don't get it. Offering Henry Cavill another job, he's not going to take it. And this predominantly does confirm that Jason Momoa will be playing Lobo. It does confirm that DC is in an even bigger mess. I hate to say this. DC is in an even bigger mess than when Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich were there. Realistically, because the plans were to bring Henry back. They were setting up Ben Affleck to get lost in time at the end of the Flash movie. I hate to say it. This plan does sound worse than the original plan. I hate to say it. You're just a SnyderVerse fanboy. No, I'm not. This is not about the SnyderVerse. You could have used the characters we already had and done whatever story you wanted to do with them. Nobody wants to see a young Superman. Like, nobody wants to see the origin story for Peter Parker or the origin story for a new Batman, because guess what? Robert Pattinson's Batman is in a different universe. Or is he? I really don't know, because young Superman, do you need a young Batman? Can we actually believe James Gunn when he said that Robert Pattinson isn't the DCU Batman? Hell, I'd rather have Robert Pattinson be the DCU Batman than you bringing in another Batman for like the 20th. Okay, I'm actually exaggerating it, but you get my point. Whoever that you cast as Wonder Woman, as Superman, as Batman, etc., they are going to get destroyed by the fans. I get it. James Gunn predominantly has done this with Pete Safran because of the SnyderVerse, because of the DCU fans, because of the baggage, because he wants to wipe the slate clean, but you could have already done this. Just changing the stories, just keeping the same actors. You really have kind of screwed yourself over. You really have. All they wanted was a Henry Cavill Superman movie and a Ben Affleck movie. You could have given them one and reboot it after that. So you're telling me it's going to take, what, 10 years to build up to Crisis, to build up to some storyline where you're probably going to reuse or use Brainiac or Metallo or Darkseid or the Apocalyptic Gods? Really? It's going to take you 10 years to get to the Crisis event. Do you realize how bad this sounds? The audience you have now is the audience you need, and now there's literally no motivation to watch all these DC movies. Sure, I will, because at the core, I'm a DC fan, and I want to see what they're going to do with them. Literally doesn't matter, though, because whatever happens, I mean, at least this, I hate to say this, at least this means we are getting a new Flash. That's the only positive here for me, that I will get a new Flash of James Gunn. That's the only positive here. We're getting a new Flash. Don't screw it up. I hate to say it, but I'm not down for this new plan. But you don't actually know what the new plan is. If they're rebooting Superman, younger Superman, they're rebooting literally everyone else. I don't like to be biased in these videos. It's not really about the fact they've recasted Henry Cavill. It's more the fact for me, we're getting a young Superman. Okay, it is kind of about the fact that they've recasted Henry Cavill, or they're going to, but it's the fact that we have to go. There's been so many TV shows about young Superman, Lois Lane, the reporting, and all this stuff. There's been so many of them. Give us a freaking give us an original story. All right, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker. The fact that his wife actually appears on Peacemaker tells you he ain't gonna axe the Peacemaker cast. He's not gonna axe the Suicide Squad because he's gonna get in trouble with his wife if he does that. No, John Cena's going nowhere. I guarantee Peacemaker Season 2 is coming, and the Suicide Squad will get another movie. But wait, that only made $200 million. So, also, one factor here is the comic book movie genre, in fact, the whole movie world in general, it's not doing well at the moment. If you look, the biggest movie this year when it comes to comic book movies, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, $955 million. Okay, this movie did well, but seeing as it was supposed to have like 20 cameos in it, should have banged $1 billion. Black Panther Wakanda Forever flopped. $770 million. It flopped? Yeah, that's because it literally needed $750 million to break even. So it's made $20 million, give or take. The Batman, DC's only property that's actually made money in the last few years, $770 million, that made money. Do more stuff like that, DC. Thor Love and Thunder, $760, underperformed massively. DC Super Pets, $200 million, Black Adam, $389, lost money. So, Marvel Phase 4, flopped. Really, the fans aren't, the fans are not happy with Marvel, and you think they're going to be happy with this new DC universe plan. And you got to remember, a lot of other commentators won't tell you this, but Warner Bros. Discovery was in $50 billion of debt. They've paid off $3 billion, and they're looking to write off another $800K. So they still have $46 billion to make. Warner Bros. Cannot afford to lose money. Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, $400 million. Warner Bros. Needs to start making money. A hard reboot makes no sense because your core audience is not going to be down with it. Post The Flash. Most people will go watch that for Keaton, for Batfleck, for Supergirl, because, hate or not, people actually want to see her. But you screwed it up, lads. You really screwed it up, James Gunn. Pete Safran, I've met you before. I think he's a cool guy, humble guy. But if the hard reboot is true, now we don't know if it's true. But if you're going to get rid of Henry Cavill and you keep everyone else, that's a bit freaking harsh, isn't it? It really is. I don't think we're going to see The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, playing Black Adam ever again, to be honest, unless he turns out to be the villain for the next Suicide Squad movie. Because let's be honest, whatever agenda James Gunn and Pete Safran have, it's got to align. And when Zachary Levi was asked recently at Comic-Con, are you safe? He's like, well, Pete Safran's my friend and James Gunn's my friend. I don't know. I guarantee Shazam's safe because Pete Safran's the producer of that movie. It's so going to come down to whatever agenda they both have. And of course, David Zaslav has to agree to it. But the fact that he has put them both in a position to be CEOs of DC Studios for at least 4 years says they've got full reins. I know people go, but David Zaslav has to agree to a plan. He's already freaking agreed to the plan. That is so obvious because, yeah, just whitewash, slate clean. Let's make the slate clean. The problem is the audience is already here and you think they're going to be down for a new cohesive universe? I don't think they're going to be down, especially if you actually continue with Peacemaker and you continue with the current Suicide Squad. And I do like both of them, but you've got to be fair. If you're going to scrap Henry Cavill Superman and scrap his scene that was going to be in the Flash movie, and you go ahead with Peacemaker because your wife's on it, Really, I don't want to be negative about this situation, and hopefully I've not come across too biased, but I think getting rid of Henry Cavill and Batfleck without letting them run the kind of crisis event, it's terrible. Who cares about Ben Affleck directing a DC movie? Unless he's starring in it, no one cares. The box office is freaking dead. Avatar 2 will show you that it's going to kill the box office, but these are rare instances like Top Gun Maverick, 1.4, Jurassic World Domination, $1 billion. Only 2 movies this year have broke $1 billion. Doctor Strange 2 alone tells you that people do not care for Marvel and DC. They're almost fed up of the comic book niche. And Black Panther 2, $770 million. 5-6 weeks in, only just broke even. The first movie banged $1 billion plus. I think the whole comic book niche is in trouble when it comes to movies, and doing a hard reboot, it ain't that guy. That ain't the plan. So, if you could, please like, subscribe, and comment, guys. Let me know everything down below. Please be respectful to other people in the comment section, and also let me know, do you think this is the right thing? It's not about the SnyderVerse, it's about just using the same characters, pushing forward into whatever story. I don't want to see another Clark Kent meeting Lois Lane, working at Daily Planet. It's so freaking generic. Just give us the Armada. Darkseid, ready the Armada. Deceit, ready the Armada. Let's do this the old way. Yes, do Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 at bare minimum, if they can, but they freaking won't. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see a beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter at WarstuG. And more importantly, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.